Hey guys, so you're probably watching this video because you either got an email today at work or you saw this on a social media feed and decided to click it. Either way, I'm glad you're here and I hope you'll watch this with an open mind and heart as this is something incredibly personal to me. I'd also like to give you a disclaimer that I'm going to share some stories on here that you may not like or find to be too much, but this is my video, so I'm sharing it. I'm transgender. What does that mean? Without going into an extreme description, it means I feel like I was born in the wrong body, a female body. My heart, mind, and soul have always felt like a man since as far back as I can remember. To some of you, this may be a total shock, but I imagine to most of you who have known me for an extended amount of time, this isn't a surprise. So this is my story, and when I say my story, I mean my story. Not all trans stories are the same. At the age of 4, I asked my mom if I could be a boy. I felt like I was one. Why couldn't I be? In my younger years, I was growing at a rapid rate. I was a foot taller than my peers. I weighed in at 50 pounds more than them, and I had body hair that they didn't have. My parents were concerned, so I went through medical test after test. The final conclusion was that I had precocious puberty and that my testosterone levels were twice the normal level of what a normal female should be. After puberty, I was incredibly ashamed of my body. Not only was I overweight, but because of my high testosterone levels, I had body hair that girls should not have, so I had every inch lasered off. I also had a deeper voice, so I practiced talking in a higher pitch, and I got really good at it. I should say that my parents raised me in a gender-neutral environment. I was allowed to play with boy toys, partake in boy sports, such as football and baseball, wear boy clothes, and when the time came, date boys. Despite all of that, I always sensed that something was different with me. I was a biological female attracted to men, so what could it be? My freshman year of college, I was first exposed to the term transgender. I thought, that's me. But I didn't want to be me. How could I possibly change my gender? And despite knowing that people before me had done it, it was too much. I continued on in life, got married, started a career, bought a house, and adopted 2 dogs. I was happy with those things, but the trans issue was eating away at me. I was depressed, anxious, and drinking heavily. I came out to one of my best friends in the summer of 2014. As terrifying as it was a huge weight off my chest. I said the words, "I think I'm transgender." That should be good enough, right? I can continue on doing the same thing I've always done, but just have this secret that only he and I would know. Once those words left my mouth, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I did a lot more research on the subject, learning about people who decide to transition and people who don't, and the effects of both. Aside from the depression and anxiety, I saw what was ahead for me should I not transition. The numbers are staggering. The average suicide rate for the general population is around 5%, but for trans people, that number is over 40%. And while I never got to the point of attempting, I often wondered if I was better off dead. Close to a year later, Caitlyn Jenner's story was all over the headlines. My mom and sister both sent me texts saying, "I'd love to chat with you about the interview." I felt like my gig was up, that some way, somehow they knew. When I came out to my mom and sister, their responses were both the same, surprised but not shocked. They both talked about times from my childhood and watching me grow up. I had always been masculine. My sister's text best summed it up. Well, I've always felt like I had an older brother and sister. I've consulted mentors, family, friends, the diversity and inclusion team at my job, my leaders, doctors, and my therapist. Through them, a transition timeline was built. And while coming out isn't the last thing on my list, it certainly is close. I hope you understand that I'm still the same person. I have the same heart, mind, and soul. I still love airplanes, Hawaiian pizza, and art. I'm still the same friend, coworker, and family member. The things that will be changing are my name, pronouns, and physical appearance. My new name is Ethan. Legally, my name is Sean Ethan, and there's a backstory to that I'd love to share with you sometime, should you ask, but I'll go by Ethan. I use he, his, and him pronouns. When you talk about me, I would like you to say, "Oh, that's his," or "he does whatever." I'm keeping my last name because I've always taken great pride in my family, and even more pride in them now that I have been welcomed with open arms since coming out. And as for appearance, well, I won't be showing up at the next Christmas party in a dress. You can expect the same clothes, t-shirt and jeans. And who knows, should I be lucky enough to have one, I may rock a beard down the road. You may not completely understand what transgender is. You may have a lot of questions, and you might even think that this is weird. That's all okay. There are a lot of resources out there that will help you with all of that. And if your questions aren't answered there, you can ask me. But before you ask, I recommend Googling things not to ask a trans person in case you're going to ask me about surgeries, bathrooms, or sex. Because quite frankly, if you don't want me asking these things about your life, you probably want to rethink asking them about mine. At the end of the day, I'm a human being. I live by the golden rule and expect to be treated the same. You may not understand how the internet or electricity works, but you still embrace it. And I hope that's how you'll approach me and other trans people. You may not understand us, but my prayer is that you still embrace us. My love for my friends, family, and coworkers hasn't changed, and I hope your love for me hasn't changed either. After all, I'm still me, version 2.0. Oh, and to answer your question, I still like dudes.